So, hello. I am speaking today with Mrs. Layla Midani Al-Atazi. She is pharmacist by studying, co-founder and co-director of the Happiness Again Therapy Center since 2014. Like most of the therapy center's clients, she comes from Syria and lives nowadays in Jordan and Switzerland. Thank you for the interview, Layla.
Hi,
What is the
thank you for the
situation?
introduction.
Thank you. What is the situation of refugee children in Jordan in general?
In general, yeah. According to the most recent report by the Brookings Institute, Syrian refugees in Jordan, to give you accurate number, uh, 10 years and counting, January 27 2022, Jordan latest census counted 1.3 million Syrians, but only 50% are officially registered as refugees. Of Jordan, approximately 670,000 refugees, almost half are children, with a population that grows almost by 2,000 babies every month, not including the undocumented children who are born to parents without a legal status in the country. Only 20% of the registered refugees live in the camps, with the remaining 80% concentrated in urban areas such as Amman, Irbid, or Ramsa, Mafraq, all those areas.
Thank you.
So, with the Jordanians' economy already struggling with an unemployment rate of 25% in 2021, and the youth unemployment nearly double that. It's a difficult environment for a large refugee population. So it's already hard on the Jordan as Jordan country because they are themselves struggling. And it's no surprise then when we read that 80% of the Syrian refugees in Jordan are living below the poverty line, with 60% of the families in extreme poverty, a number that has only increased due to a COVID pandemic. According to the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, 98% of the refugees' households must resort to coping strategies, including cutting down on meals, taking children out of school, early marriage, and sending children to beg on the streets just to be able to meet their essential food needs.
Mm.
It's that bad, unfortunately. As a
And
result, schooling is the first to be uh, uh, compromised. A recent report by Human Rights Watch highlights an increasingly lower enrollment rate of Syrian refugees in Jordan school due to poverty, lack of appropriate transportation, low value of continuing education, giving the limited employment opportunity for Syrians, as well as lack of accommodation for disabled children. So it's super hard for the kids and for the schools and for the parents themselves to see their kids out of school because they can't afford the transportation. Here in Jordan, the schools are not easy to reach your school. You need transportation and it needs money, the transportation.
mm,
like buses they don't have this kind of money. They need the money only to eat and to pay the rent of the house. So to pay for the buses to school, they don't have it. They can't afford it. So the
Thank you.
situation is not good, as
Mm,
we see.
yeah, thank you for this detailed answer.
Okay.
Um, I'd like now to come more a bit to the kids which were directly involved in Happiness Again Therapy Center.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say? We heard a lot about their needs in general, but what are the needs of these children and adolescents, which are clients at the Happiness Again Center in particularly?
Um, we faced extreme challenges at Happiness Again, and the harsh reality of their daily life for the refugees. Refugees' children need to know that they have hope for a better future, and that hope can be only be exceeded through concrete steps towards improving their circumstances that include financial, educational, health, as well as uh, uh, the support. First and foremost, there need to be structure to address their mental health needs and to offer support for the children and their families. As long as parents and family members are suffering, children will continue to suffer. Second, children need to feel that they are belong in the society where they are living and are an important and contributing member of that society. Finally, children need to stay in school. This will not only help to improve their financial situation, but will also protect them from exploitation and abuse. Because if they are in the street, there are a lot of, they are exposed to sometimes to extremists. We don't need those generation of kids of the refugees to be lost and taken away by the extremism. So we are really scared about our kids, about the new Syrian generation, or any refugee generation. We would love to have them all, to work on them, not to give the chance to anybody to abuse them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this shows clearly why the
Yeah,
psychosocial support for these kids and also young adolescents
mhm.
is so important. What would you say, besides the psychosocial support, what are other needs for these kids for the whole generation?
Yeah. Well, I will try to read from what I prepare, and then I can add something else, okay?
Okay.
Why the children currently attending Happiness Again may not have experienced the trauma firsthand as their predecessors. When the center opened 9 years ago, they still, wait a minute, they still suffer from second-hand trauma. This trauma is based on from the fact that they are refugees, because even if you don't attend the war yourself, but you are living in the atmosphere at your home, everybody is talking about their relatives inside Syria. This family lost their kids, this family lost their dad. So, and they are always on the news. So they are suffering from the secondary trauma. It's not like the first trauma, it's secondary trauma, but it has very bad effects on them also.
Mhm.
So the situation of their parents being displaced from their home due to war and the uh, disintegration of the larger family unit and the financial and social implications of their living circumstances, which include parents not being able to work, poverty, one or more family members either deceased or imprisoned, and that tragedy of the human and material loss due to the war. All of these traumatic events are based on the children as a second-hand PTSD. For that reason, Happiness Again provides much needed support for the children, as well as a stable place to call home. Some of the kids they told us we would love to stay in the center, not to get back home, because they feel safe, they feel happy, and they feel that they are respected.
Mhm.
This is all what the what the kids need at their age from 6 to 12 to build up their personality
Mhm.
and to have a good self-esteem and to feel that I can integrate in this community, I can be good person in this and active and to help the others, like in my own country. Now we are living here in Jordan. I should be good part in the society in Jordan. So we are trying to help them to integrate in this society
Yeah,
without feeling that they are stranger.
an important task, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
my final question is, what can we do as listeners here in Switzerland? So,
mhm,
how can we support Happiness Again Center?
mhm,
And yeah, what can we provide to you to
yeah.
support you by continuing your important services?
Yes, we need your help for sure. First of all, the help to feel somebody is caring about you, about your tragedy. Even he's living in, let's say you are living in Europe and we are living here in Asia, and this connection between the two parts of the world, it's so important to feel that they are not forgotten. This is so important for them. This is number one. Number two, uh, of course, the financial support to make the work in Happiness Again sustainable, not to stop it, because each kid we work on him, he has on his shoulder uh, 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 the desire to help another kid. We
Hmm.
teach them how to do this. You have the luxury to be part of Happiness Again, but you should teach your friend who they don't have the opportunity to come to visit us, to help them in the street, to help them in the school, uh, to give them some nice nice words, some nice stuff. You learned it at Happiness Again, and also to be able to continue to offer life sustaining services we offer at Happiness Again. We need, I told you, I'm reading now, we need the financial support to help us remain sustainable. Furthermore, we always strive to provide professional development for our staff and welcome opportunity for experts in the field to visit us and volunteer their services and know how to help us continue putting smiles on the faces of children and professional development of staff. Since our staff they are Syrian, so they can't travel uh, to let's say, to do workshop in Switzerland or in Germany or anywhere. So they can't travel because they are themselves, they are refugees. So we are always striving and looking for volunteer, professional volunteer to come to train our team, to give them the new knowledge on this chapter, like how to deal with the refugees, on this aspect, on that aspect. So we need the help. We need the help, definitely.
Okay. Let's hope that we can help you with this stuff.
Yeah.
Layla Midani Alatazi, I thank you very much for these important insights today and for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good one.